You're listening to the World Footy Net podcast. Welcome to the World Footy Net podcast. You can email us at podcast@worldfooty.net or alternatively, post your comments on the World Footy Net Facebook page.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our 60th episode of the WFN Weekly Podcast. This week, we include a number of special guests, including Miss Louise Kay, all the way from London, England, who supplies us with weekly predictions given in her own special manner. Louise, glad you could join us today. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm glad to be here. I'm very, very well, thanks. Very well. I've been looking forward to this.
Great. Well, Louise, we've had you on a number of our international podcasts so far. We banter on about the English game, but we really haven't got a chance to find out a little bit more about you personally. So the first thing for our audience out there, could you tell them where you're from, where you were born, and where you grew up?
Yeah, I'm actually from a town called Chelmsford in Essex, which is about half an hour from London. And I grew up in this area in a place called Billericay. So I've lived in the same area pretty much my whole life. So yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Good deal. So what can you tell us about the time growing up? What were some of your interests growing up?
It's weird actually because when I was growing up, I was never really into football. My family was rugby fans. And
Okay.
Fans.
Rugby league or rugby union?
Rugby union.
Okay.
Yeah.
Only reason I ask is, I have friends that are either one or the other, and it seems to be sort of a controversy between the two, but I just found that interesting.
But I always did enjoy rugby, and I never really got into football. My family's never really been a big football fan, but as I got to sort of 16, 17, and we, had my group of friends from school, and we'd go to the pub, I ended up with all guy mates, and basically every Sunday we'd go to the pub and watch football. And I kind of had a decision, either I'd be really bored or I'd start getting into football. And it just sort of spurned from there. And it's like 10 years on now, and I love it. It's completely overtaken my life in a good way. Oh,
that's so funny. It's so similar kind of the way I grew up. I mean, being an American, the sport of football here is not that big a deal. But I lived in Sweden back in 89 and 90. I'm an old guy. And, my roommate was from Cameroon, big Manchester United fan. And I knew very little about English football, but if he was going to be allowed to live, I was either going to have to get on board and start to follow the team and the sport, or something else would have to happen. So it's sort of forced, volunteered to get involved, but now I'm diehard, much like you are, with your support of Arsenal. And that's the next question I have. How did you come to support Arsenal in particular?
It was basically kind of when I was talking to my friends about, I want to get into football, and I think if I'm going to get into it, I need to make an allegiance to a team. And the majority of my friends were Arsenal fans, and they were like, "Yeah, you're going to be an Arsenal fan," and I was like, "Okay." It was like I wish it would have been from when I was young and a family thing, but it wasn't. It's literally just more of my friends were Arsenal fans than any other team. I wouldn't have been a glory hunter, and it was just kind of
right.
And it's such a strange way to sort of choose a football team, but that's exactly how it came about.
Yeah, everybody kind of has their own way of following, or how they got to follow their club. So that's an interesting story too by itself. Besides, I know that you said that you were sort of influenced to follow Arsenal there, but since then, have there been any other teams that you've been interested in, or has it always just been Arsenal?
It's always just been Arsenal, like within the English league. One of my brothers lives out in Valencia in Spain, and he lived literally right next to the stadium. And so we sort of followed them a little bit, but not really. That was kind of before I was really into football.
Right.
But no, Arsenal's only, I'm quite loyal. Once I get into something, I'll stick with that team through thick and thin. So I've never really been interested in another team.
Okay. All right. So have you been able to get to many games? Is that something you typically do from week to week, or how does that work for you?
This season I haven't, and I didn't last season because I just started university. But the year before that, I went to 5 games, I think it was. Just I think they were all kind of Carling Cup or Champions League games. It was sort of, and we won all the games I went to. And it's just because I've been at uni, I haven't had a chance. I really, really want to go. Like, I've been a Red member for 3 years. So I hate the fact I can't go, but I have Sky Sports at home, so I watch every game I can. So
maybe that's the problem with Arsenal right now. You're not getting to the games. So if you got the games, they have a few more wins. But anyway, but okay, well, and so it really you kind of came onto the sport a little bit later than I guess many of your peers. But what do your friends think about your love of football and your involvement with like your predictions and things of that nature?
Oh, they love it now. They love it. Like only just on Wednesday, I went to one of my friends. Like my friend's dad invited me over to his house watching football, and it was me, my friend, one of his mates, and we all got pizza and watching football. And I think they kind of like it that there's not many girls who are into football like I am, and it is a real passion of mine. So, there's always like the text going during the games, and even like when I was at work today, one of the guys there's an Arsenal fan. We always sort of have a bit of chit chat about Arsenal, and it's they enjoy it. I guess it's better than me just talking about eyelashes and nails all the time. So
definitely can relate. Definitely can relate. Well, we have Faz, who she's another member that sometimes is on an international podcast, and she's a Liverpool fan, diehard football fan. But she mentioned that sometimes she gets a bit of stick because of being a woman who follows football until she proves herself by illustrating what she knows, about the game from what she says, and then she gets a little bit of respect. Does anybody give you any crap for following the sport as a woman?
Yeah, all the time. It's just, what do you know about football? You're particularly with my predictions.
Well.
The amount of stick I get off them, and I don't claim to know. Predictions is more. It's not so much about knowledge and more about luck. To be fair. It's not. I mean, when I do my predictions, I look at whether the teams went home or away and things like that, and I make kind of a balanced judgment. But the amount of comments I get, just what do you know about football? Shut up and get your tits out, and it's because I do pretty well with my predictions. I don't always get the exact score right, but I get a lot of the results right.
Yeah, I've noticed.
At one point, I was the little kind of forum thing that I do my predictions for. I was joint top, I think, and I'm the only girl, but all the time you just get, what do you know about football and all of this? It's tedious, but I think I've just got used to it now.
Yeah. You can just, to answer them, you can just send them the link here. I'm the top predictor, so there you are.
Yeah.
So, we feature those weekly predictions on our website from your YouTube channel, and they've become very, very popular. But how did you get the idea to do the show, and what's besides that, has there been any other feedback you've gotten besides those dissenters who try to say something negative?
I started doing it. I work on as on kind of an adult TV station, and I've always worked quite early in the mornings.
Right.
It's daytimes, it's all clothed and stuff, and I used to have quite a bit of banter with the guys on the phone about football, and I started taking a pad in and writing down what my scores were, just as a bit of a joke. And this happened at the end of one season, and then I was like, do you know what? This could be a little niche, I'm a good-looking girl, I know about football, it could be quite cool. I love doing all the video stuff. It's not, I'm like a computer whiz, but I like doing all that sort of thing. And I thought I should try this, so I sort of set up doing it, and it's going pretty well. It's just instead of it being we're just writing them down somewhere in a forum, just to do the videos, gets my face out there, and yeah, it's just, I don't know, I'm quite big on promoting myself and who I am, so it's just one of them little things that I thought of. There's not many girls who do it, or there's no girls that I actually know of who do it.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. That really works well for WFN because it is unique. We try to approach the game. We're not analysts. We're not experts. We're not journalists. We're just supporters who love to banter on about the game. And so we always look for things that are different. And your predictions, there are other guys out there that do it, this way or that way, but yours is unique. And I think that that's going to be something that is going to continue to be popular. And we thank you for providing that. So it's well done. Well done. While I have on the subject of football in general, and particularly with you being an Arsenal fan, what do you think of the early part of the season for the Gunners? And do you think they'll get a trophy this year?
Honestly, no.
No.
I'd like to believe, especially after Wednesday's game, very, very disappointing. I think Olympiacos have only got a win by 1-0 the next game, and we're out, and it's kind of getting frustrating now. Really, it's getting really, really frustrating. I don't, the Norwich game was just ridiculous, so ridiculous for us to lose, and it's just upsetting. It's just like, I want us to be winning week in, week out, and there are the games that we should be easily. Norwich were a championship. We should be easily beating them, and we're not, and we're supposed to be a top 4 team. And it's, I think everyone says this every season, what's going to happen next season, because it's just never, we don't sign anyone, we don't spend any money, and it's really, really frustrating. Hopefully, we'll win this weekend, and it will give us a bit of, just a new lease of life at least.
Yeah. Well, what do you think what about that? What's missing from Arsenal? Is it a need for new players, or is there a problem with the coaches? I mean, what's your opinion on that?
I really think it's to do with there isn't kind of a team leader. Before we've had Henry and Persie, but now there's no one really. At half time, there's no one who's going to go in there and give them a bollocking and say, you've got to be doing this, you've got to be doing that. They're all kind of a bit timid, I guess. There's got to be one person who takes the lead and who shouts at them and who, shows some passion and says to them, we're not doing this right, you've got to do this. Some of the goals on Wednesday's game, it was crazy the amount of Arsenal players that were around the guy who scored, and they weren't sort of shadowing the guy. It's sloppy. It's really, really sloppy. So they need someone to be having a go at them, to be really enforcing the fact that we have to start winning games, because people are getting fed up. People are really getting fed up.
Yeah, and Arsenal, I'm a United fan, and I think that they're in a sort of a rebuilding year, but with RVP coming on, I think that's made all the difference in the world for them, and possibly that's been a factor in Arsenal's weak form early on, because up until the Norwich game, I thought that they were set to really make a move, but I was surprised at how weakly they played that game. And so, I guess they seem to have all the parts. I have a great deal of respect for Wenger, but there is something there that's missing, like you say, and perhaps it is, that team leader that's missing. So, but it'll be interesting. I mean, Arsene Wenger has a lot of experience, and it'll be interesting to see what happens over the long haul. They always say it's a marathon, not a sprint. So he has time to do something about it. So we'll see what happens. But just a couple more things, Louise. I wanted to find out, you have your involvement with football. You have the adult show that you do on a regular basis. But do you have any other goals for yourself personally? Do you find yourself getting into journalism, more into broadcasting, anything like that, or are you just kind of waiting to see what happens as the time comes?
Well, I'm at university at the minute. I'm doing my second year of a forensic psychology degree.
Oh, okay.
Really, I wanted to work within the prison sector. But I think it's more likely that I'll go into teaching at a university, because jobs are pretty sparse within what I want to do. So, for the next 4 years until I'm 30, I'm going to carry on as I am, just making as much money as I can, while I'm still young and that. And then once I'm 30, then I'll hopefully settle down and I'll be a bit more normal. But just to get my degree would be amazing, because it would just be really good, because it'd be nice to have a career and have a qualification at least.
Yeah. Well, you definitely have the qualifications and the will and the know-how and the smarts. So I think you'll be successful in anything that you do. I just wanted to thank you for your time today and for this very special edition of the WFN Weekly Podcast. And we'll have you back on our regular crew coming up soon when we get the international podcast going again. Just thank you again for coming on, and we wish you well going forward in whatever endeavors you take on.
Thank you, and it's my pleasure. I told you I enjoy doing these. It's nice to speak with like-minded people who like football, especially halfway across the world. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, I mean, love that technology
Yeah.
to allow this. And to the audience out there, don't forget to check out Louise's predictions on the WFN website each week. There are definitely predictions that are easy on the eyes, if you know what I mean. And the YouTube address and the name of the show is on the website, so take a look. And that's all the time we have for this segment, so take care, and we'll be back for more in just a moment. Don't go away. We'll be back with Mattias Schnorf after a short station break. Pod Hunting, the source for authentic American soccer wear. Pod Hunting was formed in 2010 with one simple mission: patch holes in a century of American soccer history, one t-shirt at a time. It is a tale of amazing clubs and world-class players. It features an Open Cup competition second only to the English FA Cup itself. It is filled with political strife, hostile takeovers, and world travel and international intrigue. Myth has it that pro soccer arrived in the U.S. about the same time as the NFL's Super Bowl. In reality, U.S. pro soccer thrived long before the Depression-era Dust Bowl. Join Pod Hunting and rediscover the lost heritage of soccer in the United States. Pod Hunting, the source for authentic American soccer wear.
We are full-service photographers here at Images Frozen in Time. We offer beauty portrait sessions with all the glamour of a professional makeover. Our maternity and baby portrait sessions creatively capture those special family milestones. Baby showers, bridal showers, family reunions, and weddings are only to name a few of the events that we can help you capture. Let us professionally capture each and every moment of your special family moments so that they will forever be treasured as your family's images frozen in time. Give us a call today at 678-900-8317. Don't let those moments be lost forever, and let Images Frozen in Time be your photographers for life.
Welcome back, everyone, and we'll continue the interviews for our 60th episode with a discussion with Mattias Schnorf, coming to us by Skype from Switzerland. Mattias is a former Atlanta football player, now playing for FC Schaffhausen in the 3rd Division Swiss League. Mattias, welcome back to the show, and how are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing wonderful. I'm pretty good. What about you?
I'm doing great. Good to talk to you again. It's been a long time. And, we asked you back on to find out what's going on with you now. But before we get into the current stuff with you, I'd like to ask you a little bit about your history, both personally and in football, for our audience out there who may not be as familiar with you.
Okay, sounds good.
Tell us, where were you born and where did you grow up?
I was born in Switzerland, like a small part. It's called like Wittikonumsee. It's a suburb of in Zurich. Zurich, it's almost the main capital. So yeah, that's the place where I grew up. I grew up there on a farm and it was really good. I had a good childhood. It was nice.
All right, so you grew up on a farm. So how did football come into your life?
Oh, my cousin, he started to play when I was young, so he was all the time. It was like my dream to do the same thing as he did. So yeah, just one time I went with him to his training ground, and I started to practice with him and his team. So that was the main thing why I started to play soccer.
Good deal. So was football a big part of your family growing up?
It depends. On the mother side, like my mother, she really liked the soccer, but otherwise, like my dad, he's not a big supporter. Like he's just a normal farmer, and
Okay.
he's doing his things. And,
Doesn't really get into it that
yeah,
much. Maybe since you got into it.
yeah.
Well, growing up then, as you got into football, did you always want to play as a professional? Did you want to get serious even as a kid?
Yeah, there was like when I started to play, I'm pretty sure I'm got the abilities to play once as a pro, but as you know it's a hard way, and
Hmm.
like you never know what happened in the future with the injuries, and yeah, you need a lot of luck, and yeah, I had this luck and worked hard. That was the reason why
Okay.
I became a pro.
Okay. So, as a young person playing the game, did you who were your heroes growing up? I mean, what was the team you followed, and were there any
Oh,
particular players that you really liked growing up?
when I was young, I followed like, after Barcelona. They had a pretty good team at this
Ah,
time with Stoichkov, Ronaldo played
okay.
there. Yeah, I was a big support of them, so I
Okay.
want to be like them. So
Great, great. Well, I know a little bit about your family. I know that they're very supportive about what you do. Can you tell us a little bit about any brothers or sisters you have, and what they mean to you personally and
yeah,
for your career?
yeah, my parents, they're still my biggest supporter, and my sister. Yeah, you already know it. She got
Yeah.
the Down syndrome.
Yes.
So
Yes.
and she's still she's watching like almost not every game of what I'm playing, but of my last club after Winterthur. So she's there like with the supporters and support them, and she's still the biggest fan.
Yep, the number one
So
fan, I'm
yeah,
sure. Yeah, I saw the piece on the both of you done by a Swiss TV company, I
yeah,
believe,
yeah,
on YouTube there. And it was a really touching story, and it's good to see that that's continuing on. So I wanted to kind of give everybody a little bit of a history on you, but mainly I wanted to see what you're doing now. Now, to the audience out there, I'm going to move on a bit. Most in Atlanta know of your time with the Silverbacks. And on the article, I'm going to provide a link to a previous interview that Carolyn Potlock performed with Mattias, where he went into his playing time at Atlanta. But now, can you update the audience on where you went after you left Atlanta and where you are now, football-wise?
yeah. At the moment, I play for third league club in Switzerland, FC Schaffhausen, and they've got a big history.
Hmm.
The main reason why I came home is like family-wise. I miss my family, but yeah, I hope we get promoted this year to the second highest league, and it looks pretty well. So I guess we can do that.
Right. Now, FC Schaffhausen, is this a town near your hometown? Is
No,
this
it's not my hometown, but it's not that far from the
okay?
place where I grew up. It's 1 hour away.
Right, right. So, you say that you're doing really well now. Do you think there's a real good chance at a promotion chance for the club?
Yeah, I guess we got the abilities to do that. Really, I guess I hope it will come true in the future.
Yeah, yeah. I guess there are a lot of factors when you consider that,
Yeah,
injuries and the form of other clubs. And I really like to follow your career. I like to follow the leagues in Europe because unfortunately here in the United States, we don't have the opportunity to have a team that can move up.
yeah, I
We don't
know.
have promotion and relegation. So what you're experiencing now is I wish Atlanta could experience that to be able to move up just by playing well. But it's really good to see that you're doing that. So
Yeah, it's a pretty young team, and I'm one of the leaders of them. So the main thing why they pick me or why they want that I play for them because to lead the team. So
right.
I hope me and some other guys we are like some really important guys to lead this young.
Great, great. And it's good to see that. And so, just a couple of more questions, Matthias. And, now that you're there, you're back home, a little bit more comfortable with the team that's going up. What are your goals, personally? Do you want to stay with the team and help them rise as high as they can go? Or, do you
Still a
have
2 year
plans for
contract.
coaching?
Yeah, I haven't plans for coaching yet, but I guess we're starting to create a new stadium next year and a pretty big one. So I continue. I guess or I hope I can stay there for a longer time and play at the new stadium. This is my goal. So
Okay, great,
I hope.
great. It sounds all really good, Mattias, and I appreciate you spending some time with us, and I want to thank you for taking time out to talk to us. I know that you're, at this time of the interview, you're just now getting out of a team training and preparing for the game on the weekend.
Yeah.
And, we wish you all the best going forward, and we hope
Thanks.
to get a chance to talk to you again real soon.
Yeah, I hope that too. Wish you all the best.
All right, thank you very much. WFN would like to thank both guests today, Miss Louise Kay from London, England, and Mattias Schnorf coming to us via Skype from Switzerland. Don't forget to register for our free weekly newsletter. Just go to www.worldfooty.net and register on the form from the right side of the page. We'll include information on the latest stories from our site, but we'll also be offering exclusive Footie merchandise as well as other Footie specials designed especially for our registered users. So don't miss out. Thank you for listening, and we'll be back next week with our regular show and more guest interviews. Goodbye and have a good week.